I didn't think I would ever sign up for ChatGPT's $200 per month Pro plan. And then they announced this.
OpenAI, the makers of ChatGPT, just unveiled a new tool that can produce detailed reports. It's called Deep Research. And the company says it uses reasoning to synthesize large amounts of complex data. They claim it can finish in-depth research in a fraction of the time it would take even the most knowledgeable human.
I've been testing this quite a bit over the past few days, and it's pretty cool. So let's see how we could use it as an English learner. By the way, if there are things that you'd like me to try, let me know in the comments. I'm looking for ideas. I'm probably not going to keep the $200 per month plan every month. I'm probably just doing it once, probably. We'll see how it goes. But suggestions in the comments, please, 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 please. That would be very helpful, actually. So let's start with getting resources for immersion. Let's say I want to really immerse myself in the language and I find it tiring to always search. So I want reliable resources, articles, things that I can use, questions that I could answer, ways to interact online, right? Things that are reliable, but that I don't have to go out and find by myself. So I want a list of resources to immerse myself in the English language, specifically around my interests. For content, resources provide the source as well as one specific piece of content from each with bullet point takeaways. For other things like places to engage online, provide the source and a brief explanation of how I can engage. I like reading interesting short articles about new archaeological finds, esoteric religion, and anything interesting related to the Hudson Valley. 2, and this is more interactive, I want to find questions people have asked on Reddit, Quora, or other forums, which relate to my area of expertise. I'm an expert in commercial video production and want to help others in the field. So this would be the more interactive side of immersion. I want to help people and I want to use my English skills to do it around my expertise. 3, I want to improve my English grammar skills by studying a complex paragraph. Please find 1 or 2 interesting and complex paragraphs, then provide a specific breakdown of the grammar using clear and simple English. Okay, so I want to make sure everything is organized clearly, and then we're going to send this off, but probably we'll have to answer some clarifying questions because, and that's actually a good thing, if it just starts, it might misunderstand your intention, and so every time I've done this, it asks some clarifying questions. And again, I like that. But once you do, it gets to work. This is the crazy thing. I was looking for a resource related to a book I'm writing and a bunch of resources. And so I started the task looking for those resources. I drove home, took about 10 minutes or something. When I got home, it was done. And I read the resources. And that's cool. So we have to start thinking differently. We're not just sitting here using a thing. We've got a little agent who's out there doing stuff that we've asked it to do. And if it gets better and better at that, imagine a future where, not too distant future, where on Monday you say, okay, these are my 10 priorities for the week. Please figure out how to get them done. It's a conversation over coffee. You sit down with your, ChatGPT advanced voice mode, something like that. You get interviewed about your priorities. Specifically, you say, make this like that thing that I did before, and remember that I have a preference about this. Okay. Work things, life things, all of the above. It then goes out and does research. It interacts with people and other agents. It collects information. It does tasks for you. It orders food for you. It does everything that you want to do that week, leaving you to, read books and play video games, right? This is where we're going. This is the direction. And this, as well as Operator, which I'm going to do in a different video, are indications of where we're going. Actually, very interesting steps toward that. The idea of just driving home and meanwhile, it's doing stuff, crazy. Okay, so 1, short articles. Do you prefer academic sources, news sources, or blog style pieces? All of the above. And then 2, for finding relevant Reddit and Quora questions, should I prioritize recent discussions? Yes, recent is better. And then 3, what's the third question here? For the grammar breakdown, would you prefer paragraphs from literature, academic writing, or journalism? Any complex, well-structured writing work is good. All right, so now we'll send this off and it will get to work. Okay, now why don't we take a look at some of the other things that I've done while I was testing. So let's check out a few other things. So one thing I asked for, I believe this was yesterday, is real-world conversation analysis. In other words, find me transcripts of real conversations somewhere on the internet and give me a breakdown of those conversations. Regular daily conversations, but also I specifically requested customer service conversations. So here's an example customer service conversation, and then here's the breakdown. How can I help you today? Let's see. Bear with me. Now, the cool thing about this is when you click on a source, in almost all cases, it takes you to not just the source, but the place on the page where that source was found. So if I click on this source, it opens a Grammarly blog post. And if you look, this Grammarly blog post, let me zoom in here, this Grammarly blog post has a yellow highlight showing me exactly where it found that particular thing. Now that is, I think, very cool, with a table, what it means, and when or why it is used. So let's see. Bear with me. Please be patient with me is what it means. And it is a polite way to ask the customer to wait briefly. Anything else I can help you with? Do you need anything more? This is from Zendesk. So you get this peace of mind also knowing, hey, this is not just stuff that ChatGPT is making up. That's a common issue, right? This is coming from, well, Zendesk, a reputable business about customer service. Another way to see the content of the source is to hover over it and you get a kind of preview of the content. So this is a pretty cool one too. And you'll also notice it's in much more depth, right? Much more than a standard ChatGPT response. So, I mean, yes, it's a lot to read through, but it's much less work to read through that than to go out and find all of this stuff on your own, which is the old way of browsing online. So what does this mean for browsing online? I mean, that's an open question, I think. Okay, so this English immersion task that I put in has finished. Research completed in 7 minutes, 18 sources. Amazing. I asked for articles. I asked for questions about commercial video, and I asked for a paragraph or two. Archaeologists discover 141 ancient gold coins, and I can click on that source. I hate the way that modern blogs are laid out just because of ads. What is this? But it's also very cool that it's highlighted like this. This might mean spending less time looking through blogs, which in general I think is a good thing because I'm just going to read this, right? This is still useful. I can still learn the key information without having to suffer through those giant banner ads. Historic Hudson Valley Heritage blog, where to find the Headless Horseman in Sleepy Hollow. I actually know how to find the Headless Horseman, I think. And a forum discussion on commercial video production. This is the one I really want to explore here. In Reddit Filmmakers, a user asked for others' experience with crowdsourced commercial video production platforms like MoFilm and Genero. They specifically wanted to know, okay, so I can kind of see if I want to answer this question. How to engage? You could join this discussion by sharing any personal experience with these or similar video contest platforms. And then there's another question here about charging for restaurant commercials. That's really cool. It's giving me suggestions for how I could contribute. So let me just click on this and see if it opens up that question directly in the subreddit. Wow, it does. Crowdsourced commercial video platforms. I'm interested in these crowdsourced commercial video platforms. So instead of looking through Reddit, browsing and browsing and browsing, I'm able to save time basically by saying, hey, find me a few interesting questions about this topic that I could answer to practice my skills, my language skills, right? And help someone. So I can go down here and throw in my response. That is so cool. I have to say, that is really cool. I was concerned that it wouldn't be able to open Reddit for some reason, but it seems to have absolutely no trouble doing that. That is so cool. And now the third thing I asked for, complex paragraphs for grammar study. Example 1 from Charles Dickens. Okay, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. That's a classic quote. This is where it comes from. This famous opening sentence is long and richly structured, made up of many smaller clauses strung together. It was. So now what I would do here, I think, is I would ask a follow-up question to say something like, I want you to structure the grammar breakdown in a way that's easier to read, right, with either bullet points or maybe even a table or something like that. The way this is laid out is kind of tiring, right? It's good because the key thing is complex dependent clause. That the key thing is, in bold. I guess that's okay, but I find this a little bit too much. This is a big chunk of text, and I would want this broken down differently. But you can follow up with that, basically saying, yeah, good content, good paragraph, but structure it differently. Example 2, Letter from Birmingham Jail by Martin Luther King Jr. That's a good one too. I like that one too. And again, it's the way that it's organized. Not crazy about that. I would ask for a better structure there, but that's a fairly minor thing. Overall, I think this is incredible because you could basically create a daily digest like this, where every day it's something slightly different, right? And you just make a few adjustments in the prompt that you use, and then you drive to work and then spend the first 15 minutes at work, 20 minutes at work, instead of working, of course, looking at your digest. That's insane. I think what we're looking at here is a glimpse at this next phase of AI, what's called agentic AI. And it's going to require us to start thinking differently about a lot of things. One, productivity, how we get stuff done, and what it means to be busy, right? If you're making the most of tools like this, and as the tools get better and better, sitting down and saying what you want to happen and having those things happen for you will be as productive as doing those things yourself. But if you're not doing those things yourself, then what are you doing? And what does it mean to be productive then? Does productive equal busy? Well, no. No, not necessarily. Another thing that I think is really interesting is that now there's a very strong emphasis on the question, the quality of the question, and the ideas behind the question. Yeah, this is true for prompting, yes, prompt engineering, but now even more so, coming up with that clever idea, phrasing it in just the right way, suddenly uncovers something that you may never have thought of, maybe brings together two things that you couldn't possibly have imagined. We're now getting into this space of new stuff, opening up new worlds, new possibilities, right? Discovering things that we couldn't have come up with if we had just sat there and tried to think through the whole thing, or if we had spent hours clackety trying to find something ourselves. Now, by asking the question, the right question, with the right idea behind it, we're kind of like explorers. We can move into new territory in a way. I think we're possibly entering a new frontier of being a person where it's less about being busy, less about being productive, less about what did I do today, and more about what did I think today? What did I learn today? What new thoughts did I have today? I could be wrong, but I feel like we're on the edge of something like that. Some big changes, I think, are on the horizon. And again, I think these are just baby steps. These are just a glimpse at something very big and something very different. Just driving home while ChatGPT was out researching for me was kind of broke my brain this very profound experience. Wait a second. I can do stuff without actually having to sit and do it? What? Wait a second. This is a big one. This could be, I think, very big. Stuff like this. I hope it keeps getting better. I hope that eventually, soon, it won't just be pro, it will be available for everybody. And there will be more and more and more tools like this. If you try it out, let me know. If you have ideas for things you want me to try out, I'm happy to do it. I'll pick a few from the comments. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Get a free course in the links in the description. And check out the 90-day program. This is, I believe, the best way to improve your English fluency in 90 days. And it's an incredible deal. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.